Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, let's ask about those dire wolves. And I thought the best deck to ask about dire wolves, of course, is Game of Thrones. Because when we saw those dire wolves, we all wanted a dire wolf, right? Yes, indeed. I want a dire wolf. Anyways, let's find out the dire wolves that they're bringing back. Now, first of all, they didn't bring back a complete dire wolf. All they did was mix some genetic material with a gray wolf. All right, so it'd be no different than you mixing a husky and a German Shepherd, and then saying, "Oh, this is a husky," or "This is a German Shepherd." There, you can't do that, right? But they want to make a big splash, and about this dire wolf and whatnot, and are they going to bring back mammoths? And I have my own personal beliefs about animals that go extinct, is that they choose to go extinct. They choose to leave the planet, and therefore they create the circumstances that happens. And they have their own, they just like we have our own soul families and we come and go, so do they. And you can't always blame humans. Humans weren't responsible for the dinosaurs dying out. Yes, we're responsible for like the dodo bird, and we're responsible for what's happening to the rhinoceros and the pangolins. But at the same time, are those animals creating a situation that happens so that they can leave the earth? You have to remember, some of these animals have been here for 85 million years. So have they completed their own individual soul cycles? And it's time to go. So the situation is in the best possible place for them to leave the planet. Because remember, as long as you have DNA here, you have to keep your souls have basically a soul contract to come and complete. So I'm going to ask, where do they want to go with this dire wolf stuff? Do they want to start to bring back other, like the woolly mammoth? Do they want to bring back like some of the rhinoceros that have been decimated? What's going on here? What's going on with the dire wolf? What can you tell us about what they are calling a dire wolf, which is actually a gray wolf with some other different genetic markers? Shall we begin? Oh, chatty. Big cut. 5 of Spears in reverse. Well, I think the scientific community is a little bit argumentative about what they want out of it. I don't think they know what they want, what the end game is. I don't think there is an end game here. Now, 5 of Spears upright, you could argue that this is a game and there is an end game and a final score. In reverse is, I don't think there is an end game to this. Knight of Swords. Again, big media splash. It was in Time magazine, big, articles about it, a lot of things written about it. And that's the Knight of Swords here. 6 of Swords. Moving on to some kind of peaceful resolution. 5 of Coins. It cost them a lot of money. 8 of Cups upright. 8 of Cups can be, you go look for what's missing. And that's also 6 of Swords here. You're in a kind of a stressful situation. You just want peace in your life. So you start to move towards peace. I'm wondering here if the big splash was to garner more money for research, because this is the poverty card, and search for what's missing, and he's walking towards money. Knight of Spears on top of the Knight of Swords. Interesting, because there was 2 there, right? They named them, they said they're twins. I wonder if they got ahead of themselves by announcing it. Look at, because this one's white and that one's black. The Chariot. I think somebody's trying to control the narrative, trying to control the situation, the world on top of the 5 of Coins. I don't think it's going to go much further than this. I think if anything, let's see, 7 of Cups, yeah. There's a lot of confusion, illusion, right? Because they said, oh, these are dire wolves, and then you read into the article a little bit, and it's like gray wolves with some genetic mixing into it. So there was a little bit of illusion, confusion going on here. Not quite gaslighting, but almost like a sleight of hand, I'm getting. Not quite lying, but not quite, the headlines were kind of splashy. But then, you dig a little bit deeper and you realize what it was. 4 of Swords. Yeah, you know what? I think they're going to let this, I think they were looking for money, for donations, for investment. And now it's going to go quiet because it's 4 of Swords on top of the world here. Also, we might find out maybe these puppies are sick. And we have to remember they were born in October. So why are they releasing 6 months later about these dogs, about these wolves? They're not dogs, or about these wolves. Why have they been so quiet for so long? We might find out that perhaps there's something genetically wrong, like perhaps they can't breed or something like that. 10 of Spears, big bird. Well, it's a big bird, and probably all their scientific research and looking after them. And I mean, it's not cheap. So I think that this was just like a money-making investment kind of splash, because why didn't they tell us about it 6 months ago when they were born in October? Why now? Have they run out of money? Like, because they're a big burden. Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. The truth. The truth. Page of Spears. We're going to hear the truth about these dogs, or these, why do I keep calling them dogs? These wolves. 8 of Spears. I don't think they're going to go very far. I don't think it's going to, I'm wondering if they can't breed. And then, so to get them, you have to continually either clone them, which is expensive, or do this genetic manipulation on the gray wolves. And what's that going to do? Whenever you play with genetics like that, you're in for a whole heap of trouble. Like I don't know if you guys watch Rocky Sitting with Dogs, and he got these 2 puppies in, and they are, somebody's trying to breed huskies. You can now get mini huskies. So it's a husky that's been bred with another dog, usually a corgi, so their legs are shorter. These were cattle dogs, so they were quite stocky, and they were born with such bad deformities, one had to be put down. And that's what happens when you play with genetics like that. And I think there's going to be something here. We're going to hear some kind of truth about these dogs, that they can't either breed or they can't move forward on it. The Empress. But they're going to say, oh, and the 7 of Spears in reverse. Oh, and the Devil in reverse. Okay, so the Empress here is they're going to say, okay, so we can't really move forward with these, but now we're pregnant with possibilities. Now we can really reproduce this and, use other animals. And that might have been their whole end game. Remember I said they don't have an end game? And with the 7 of Spears here in reverse and the Devil here in reverse, they may have ulterior motives. And I think they do. I think it's a money-making thing. And I think they have ulterior motives to try this with other species, with perhaps people. We got the Devil in reverse here. They're not up to good. They're not up to any good. So I think we're going to hear in the future, we're going to hear the truth about these dire wolves. Perhaps they just kind of genetically manipulated them so they were white, for example. Said, oh, look, they're dire wolves. There's something really sinister about what they're doing. Very sinister. And now they're going to take that information and take some of the money that people are investing, and they're actually going to use it for their real reason. They have an ulterior motive here, and it's not nice at all. Oh boy, oh boy. Notice the dire wolf didn't show up. That's why I use this deck, because there are dire wolves in here. And I thought, well, if they show up, then it'd be like, let's see if we can find some. If they show up, then we know they are really doing it's really a dire wolf, but it didn't show up. I think it's on there's a couple, there's one, 9 of Swords, the dire wolf. And I think there's another one in here too. There's one. So I thought if one of the cards show up with a dire wolf on it, then we know they have a dire wolf, but we didn't get that. I think there's something really wonky going on here, guys. And whatever they're telling you, think opposite. We're going to hear the truth about it, though, sooner rather than later. All right, then. Well, YouTube's going to show you a video perhaps you haven't seen. Why don't you click on that? And I'll see you over there. Take good care. Bye for now.